schedule where you haven't seen what we all saw on the debate stage.
He never had a jam-packed schedule. My big question tonight, if Democrats, their friends in the state-run legacy media mob are willing to lie so blatantly about all of this, what won't they lie about? As it turns out, their rampant dishonesty extends to almost everything.
Look who it is.
You might not be able to see them, but they're there. Don't put the chopper at risk. Clear Avon skies before you get there.
Donald Trump after another, and they even got
Pilots have ditched the chopper, so you're flying yourselves. I can't have any more of my people in danger there.
It is corrupt. It is the biggest presidential scandal in history. Oh, right up there. Here's one quick example. This is fake Jake Tapper defending Hunter Biden in 2019, 20, and 23. Now he's criticizing. Take a look. Whatever you think of Hunter Biden, and there's certainly a lot of people in this town, Democrats and Republicans, that do not think a lot of him. There is a certain kind of like cruelty to the campaign against him. Where is Hunter? Where is Hunter? Where is Hunter? The right wing is going crazy with all sorts of allegations about Biden and his family, too disgusting to even repeat here. I mean, some of the ones I've seen from the president's son and some of the president's supporters are just wildly unhinged. And I think they need to even here and level a bunch of accusations and allegations about Hunter Biden. I didn't know. I just said the facts. Now, that was before Biden's exit from public life. Now here's fake Jake admitting the truth, trying to make money selling a book. They go, Hunter was driving the decision for the family way.
Just get the thing and go. You've cleared enough of them down there.
Oh, let's go. And old man is over
This is
now.
the coolest stealth heli. Your tail should lose track of you pretty soon.
From the horrible decisions. Well, I mean, I just look at the record. After his brother died, he cheated on his wife with his brother's widow and then got her addicted to crack. That's just one thing I could say. I mean, I don't have a lot of personal regard for him. And I have no personal regard for you either, fake Jake. You're trying to make money, criticizing the very line that you were a huge part of. Why would anyone buy that book or trust anyone at fake news CNN ever again? They pretend to be honest, purveyors of truth, and that is a lie. But of course, it's not just the media. As Peter Doocy can report firsthand, then Biden White House at that time was a house of cards built on lies and smears. He's the only one I recall calling it out. Very good with it. Take a look. President Biden is the oldest president in U.S. history. White House staff is you know what? There's went down in the back. Was how President Biden ever going to convince the 3/4 of voters who are worried about his physical and mental health that he is okay, even though in Las Vegas he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996. I'm like, you can go down that rabbit hole with one, sir? One of the reasons you're not in charge is because in his determined you are a well-meaning elderly man with a horrible memory. Back to the seat. I don't think the recommendation is out of there. And any unit president. I mean, so down, I bet you speak. Do a monologue. So if years the grown-ups are back, suddenly Washington has rediscovered what an actual boss looks like. And what happens when you have a great boss? The bossness.
We out of there? We safe? Obviously not quite yet, but almost. Man, that was intense. You feeling jacked? I'm definitely jacked. Major endorphins. Hey, for a bunch of no-good murdering bank robbers, you sure are good at doing the right thing. We're not so different when it all comes down to it. Ambitious, results-driven, sociopathic tendencies. It was not nice getting caught. I do the same run every morning, only this morning I was drugged and in an upright spinner bag before my pulse hit 80. I should have changed my routine. Too predictable. Or maybe just stop posting running times to social media. But what's the point of running if no one knows about it?
can't make unsubstantiated
What's happened while I've been gone? Is Avon Hertz president? Is this Clifford AI powering the internet? Hey, don't worry. Rackman will debrief me in full. I know the bombs haven't dropped. That's good enough. Gotta stop that son of a very bad mother.
How to conduct foreign policy. I haven't seen a mismatch like that since Randy Weingarten sat on a chair. And it's only possible when you got the wind of Trump at your back and no fear of the wind coming from the flatulent left-wing mob. And Rubin is not alone. The entire cast of unintimidated
Thanks for the ride. Be good, okay?
Just take a look at this murderer row.
If I offend anybody today, I don't give what you think about me.
Well, I have to point out that very seriously, because you have your theory, but you don't care about wasting tax dollars. Senator Ricky Stubbs. And the problem is my job because the American public. And the problem is not wasting tax dollars. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI and he's cleaning it up.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with you.
No more pronouns. No more climate change obsession. No more emergency vaccine mandates. No more dudes in dresses. We're done with that.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I haven't seen so many bad asses since Kudlow had his 80th birthday at a dude. What do you do with the baby? Just slide over and
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he hadn't gone as high as he kept me cat when I come back, I need me, my young partner, my brother in common, I promised me that my next movie will be easy. You know, we get in the house with the next movie pull out. Red Monk's out too. I don't know that.
My birthday. This thing. You ever think about this street on
No, that's not even close to what I said it to. And it's you understand why? You don't understand why. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who's gonna turn down $50 million? Because he wants the party. And he's got to tell him.
So, one-in-laws and Dave Chappelle finally started throwing shade at Diddy and their stand-up routine. But fans are now wondering, how much did those two really know about what was going on at those Diddy parties? Dave made fun of Diddy back in the day on Chappelle's show, especially over making the band. But after that, he stayed quiet for years. Then, in the early 2000s, he had that crazy situation when he turned down a $50 million deal and escaped to Africa without telling anyone. He later said he needed to get away from the industry because it was getting too dark. But here's the weird part. Shortly before Cassie filed that lawsuit against Diddy in 2023, Dave was seen having dinner with him, and that timing had people asking a lot of questions. Now, as for Martin, he also recently started cracking jokes about baby oil and Diddy's weird behavior. But let's not forget, he had that incident in the 90s when he ran into traffic screaming, "They're trying to kill me." And after that, he kind of toned it down. Martin used to be way more outspoken and critical of the industry, but now he mostly toes the line and sticks to safe jokes about baby oil. Then there's what Cat Williams said. He alleged that Martin became one of the Hollywood gatekeepers and even claimed Martin tried to pressure him into wearing his first dress for a movie role. So now fans are left wondering, were Dave and Martin just staying in their own lanes and avoiding drama, or were they closer to the situation than they went on and just kept quiet until it was safe to speak up? Let's break it down.
You read the newspaper and found out everyone in Hollywood had a hold of you behind your back. That's really hurts.
All right, let's start with Martin Lawrence, because fans have been pointing out for a while now that something seems different about him. He used to be one of the loudest voices calling out the industry, but now it feels like he's just playing it safe and going along with the system without saying much.
Nigga, I'm a
He started joking about Diddy and his stand-up, but he's not really exposing anything or even hinting at the bigger picture. It's just the same old baby oil joke we've heard a million times.
Who needs that much bacon, you know? That much bacon on that phone. Who buys bacon on that phone? You can't. If you're a bacteria place, like spinning slime in your body.
And if you check out what Martin's fans are saying on social media, a lot of them seem pretty disappointed. And some are even convinced that something changed with Martin. And it seems he gave in to the same industry system he used to speak out against.
Yeah, man, look at all these white people. Take a chance, yeah, right. So I guess I better be cool. I got some black folks out there for me stuff. Gotta talk about some things. The daggone sisters are following me everywhere, man. Wish they get off my stand that I'm listening. Busting me, man. You know, you can't say this, you can't say that. I'm like, well, how am I going to talk about the world? Right now, you can't really drive down the street. Still exists. We gotta admit it. People, we don't speak to each other, and we don't want to. We're fully taking each other, and this world ain't supposed to be like this. This is all wrong. We fight as we're fighting for the wrong thing. Everybody measures success in having a car, having a big house. But success measured in your happiness. So if you ain't happy, it don't mean nothing. Damn.
So here's the whole part. This new one is like a whole different person. And no, it's not just his age. It seems like something else is going on. One fan said people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. This man submitted to everything the Hollywood community has for him. Everything. You know it, I know it. That's why he's so broken now. And someone else knows this was painful to him. As a big fan, I'm smiling, prepared to laugh at any punchline. But he is no longer funny, having been since the early 2000s. So what happened to him? Sure, he got older, and he's also dealt with multiple health issues over the years. But some fans are speculating that the real shift happened after that infamous incident when Martin had a public breakdown and claimed someone was out to get him. This all went down in May 1996 when Martin was arrested after he was seen wandering through a busy street in LA, waving a gun and screaming, "They're trying to kill me!" Right away, the tabloids jumped on him and labeled him as some out-of-control addict. But Martin later spoke up and said they totally exaggerated his substance use. And then came the stories claiming he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. But according to Martin, that was all made up too. They made a lot of things up to sell a better story. Martin said at the time, "You don't know what it's like until you've been through it." And then Dave Chappelle later talked about this incident in his 2006 interview on The Oprah Show, where he explained why he turned down that $50 million contract and escaped to Africa. Dave mentioned Martin and several other celebrities who seemingly had a breakdown after signing a huge deal and moving on to the next level of fame.
Hi, I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances
Uh-huh.
that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It takes a while when you punch through to adjust to the atmosphere. It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happened. And I've seen these kind of things play out in front of me. When I saw
When you say heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, see, well, look at her Karen. Made $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Omar Lawrence punches through with, he's waiting, he's screaming. They're trying to,
Yeah. Yeah, we hear those stories.
and all this happens around the time that career would see the village crossing over the next plateau.
So now fans are wondering if Martin took a big deal to protect his career, or if he was genuinely scared for his safety and he chose to stay quiet and play it safe. I mean, if you check out some of Martin's recent interviews, it's like the total opposite of that bold, outspoken Martin from the 90s. In fact, in a recent interview on The Breakfast Club, Martin was asked about those long-running Illuminati rumors and the whole men in dresses thing that Cat Williams had been calling out for years. But Martin brushed it off, saying it was all nonsense. sense. He claimed he wore dresses strictly for comedy and didn't have a problem with it because he's secure in his masculinity. But what really sparked debate was when he said that those characters were meant to represent strong black women. And you know that did not sit right with a lot of people because, let's be honest, most of those roles were over-the-top stereotypes, not exactly respectful or empowering portrayals of black women.
Was it too, but growing up, watching you play Sinead, watching you in Big Mama's house, I never thought anything of it. I just thought it was funny. But nowadays, you hear people say, "Oh, you know, that's trying to sell your soul in Hollywood. And that's the humiliation rituals and the Illuminati."
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It's all doing what I do, doing Big Mama and characters like that, Shanae or whatever. These are strong black women, you know, and I'm a comedian, you know, and I'm not above playing the character, putting on a dress or whatever, because I'm a doer, you know, so I know who I am, so I don't worry about all that.
But here's the wild part. Martin's situation isn't a one-off. Fans are starting to notice a pattern because every time a celeb speaks out or gets a little too close to exposing how things really work in Hollywood, whether it's Martin, Dave Chappelle, Kanye, or Jamie Foxx, they suddenly end up with some mysterious illness or get labeled as crazy. And it's happening way too often to ignore. Now, as far as Dave Chappelle, his story is even more confusing, and fans aren't really sure what to make of his transformation. And one of the reasons fans are now side-eyeing Dave is because he recently started taking shots at Cat Williams, even though Cat has never had a bad word to say about Dave. After Cat's Club Shay Shay interview went viral, Dave called him out, saying he was throwing other black comedians under the bus. But that's the weird part. Cat never even came for Dave in that interview. In fact, he actually praised him and said that Dave was one of the few comics he really respects. When Shannon asked Cat about Dave walking away from that $50 million Comedy Central deal, Cat didn't even discuss it. Instead, he talked about his own experience of turning down some big money offers and invites to Diddy parties because they came with some strings attached.
The one comedian that we've been sitting here doing this interview that you hold in very high regard is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle walked away from Chicken Nation. You said it was both. Same story.
That's right. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't. People say that he lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not.
So you know what happened to the dude. Don't under fucking stand. Fuck. You fucking up ass words, man.
4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was making. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to buy it. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipt for everything I'm telling you. That's why I just say I'm so free.
But even though Cat showed Dave nothing but respect, Dave got a little defensive and he fired back at Cat during one of his stand-up sets, claiming that Cat only targets other black comedians and projects his issues on other people. And while Dave acknowledged that Cat is one of the best in the game, he then turned around and accused him of dragging his black comedy peers and making them look bad.
He didn't say anything. None of these black boys, none of these black boys talking like that. And it is one of the best handlers in the game. And can't hurt people, but I don't hurt person. They never hurt people.
Any personnel without a valid ID will be subject to enhanced interrogation.
That was talking about the other, but not about anything. If I told my story, it would break your heart. I lost everything. And
All detainees must be searched, tagged, and inventoried before interrogation.
But Dave's shady comments about Cat definitely ruffled some feathers, and fans, while they're having it, quickly slapped back, pointing out that Cat made it clear in that Club Shay Shay interview that this isn't about black versus white. It's about whether you're on God's side or that other side.
Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side.
Who the fuck is God's side, bitch? God's side is straight up dumb ass side. Your fucking side. The fucking elite asshole side. Side that don't make no fucking sense. Only sense to you funky fuckers that got money. Fuck.
And tell all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Because they're a lie.
We also have to talk about that Diddy link, because here's where things get even messier. So when Dave finally broke his silence on the whole Diddy drama in his SNL monologue back in January, he denied going to Diddy parties and claimed he never even got the invites.
Jesse Baby, did you know anything about those free dog parties? No. I know anything about free dog. I know what you like. All these people you know was at free golf, but you're the only one that wasn't at free golf. And I thought about it for a minute. I said, oh my God, I'm ugly. You know, because the stories that come out about it are crazy. I saw one thing on the internet, so I'm not sure that's true. Probably that's true, but I saw it. Some guy who said he was public, like, yeah, man, he said, I was at free golf one time and I went in the back row.
We are now commencing the 360 process.
Man, it's smashed. And I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Now, no one's denying that Dave Chappelle still knows how to land a joke, and his timing and delivery are as sharp as ever. But fans are starting to say that Dave's playing it safe these days. Instead of challenging the real power players, he's punching down and going after easy targets. Sure, he'll throw a few jokes at Diddy, but he won't go near the bigger questions. Like, how did he manage to get away with this for so long? Who was backing him? And why the system kept protecting him? It's not just about Diddy being a freak. There's a whole network behind this mess. And Dave's silence on that part isn't sitting right with a lot of folks. But this next part is where it gets really weird. In April 2022, shortly before Diddy got the Lifetime Achievement Award from BET, the Daily Mail caught Diddy having dinner with none other than Dave Chappelle. According to the Mail, Dave and Diddy were in a good mood and laughing the whole time. And they even left in the same car. So the timing's pretty wild, because this dinner date took place just months before Cassie Boston dropped. And how did Dave, of all people, even end up hanging with Diddy like that? It was a huge plot twist, especially knowing how Dave found Diddy during the Chappelle show. And even Jaguar Wright has something to say about this. And she alleged that after Dave walked away from that $50 million deal and disappeared to Africa, Hollywood handlers tracked him down. And according to Jaguar, Dave hasn't really been the same since.
In the interest of security, personal property can be seized and destroyed at any
Oh, I
time.
did see that, yeah. He said he was there the day that
And
happened.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. From the second that I saw Dave Chappelle on SNL doing fish to Kanye West, I wanted to. Just like I still want to.
Oh, and get this. During a recent interview with Big Boy that barely made headlines, Kanye also came to Dave Chappelle and accused him of being a handler. Kanye said that once he started calling out the people who control the music industry and keep artists locked into bad deals, the big bosses sent their usual suspects to shut him down. And according to Ye, those people were Diddy, Dave Chappelle, and Meek Mill.
So far past any level of knowledge, baby. I was banished. I was exiled. I was canceled multiple times. So what? I done had like my kids that show up to Sunday service right in front of everybody. You know what I mean? Like I'm crying to see my daughter and all of the usual suspects that happened with Dave Chappelle, Meek Mill, Diddy. All these people are in a position now for celebrities. They gotta call and put a leash on. What we gonna do with that? Oh, he delusional. That's the best. Dave, give him a call. Dave, give him a call. Tell him we didn't like the T-shirt. Tell him like right now the agenda is this is the voting agenda for the celebrities. Like, make them do exactly what LeBron would do. They can do exactly what Drake would do. And y'all know my stance on this. I want to say something about the number one. What's so good is the if for everybody that's working at a normal job, like a fast food restaurant, or somebody's girlfriend that left them for more money, or whatever it is, all I do is just like pull up in there, and so they can pull up right in front of this bitch, and they're like, you. Now I just pull up like everybody from last year, can't wait, it's like, like she must be putting it in that where the social Shanae, I don't know if it was it the tweet that you had put up?
And that's why a lot of fans are now looking sideways at both Dave and Martin and wondering if they switched sides somewhere along the way. People are confused about how they went from being loud anti-industry voices to looking like Product System and going on dinner dates with Diddy. But I want to know what you think. Do you believe Dave and Martin were really clueless about what Diddy was up to and that's why they stayed quiet? Or do you think there's more to the story and maybe they're compromised too? Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't miss this next story.
Be aware all movements are anticipated. Remember, decent behavioral algorithms know you before you do. Facility atmosphere at critical. Please replace air conditioning filters.
So I went to sit down, listen to us go back and forth. So I came with the idea, I was like, well, tell you what, because Bird was like, man, listen, I'm not on the streets no more, and we depended on his rap stuff, right? But Mystical was a special one, so we like, let's do a concert, and we kill him. So I'm like, wait. Kill him? Yeah, someone want to kill, blood. We talk kill him. Yeah. But no, I was like, man, let's do a concert. Back then, when a person do a concert, the rapper got the ride of pain. So
Low level seismic activity detected. Listening devices engaged.
You come to my city or wherever I want you at, because I'm a man, you sit where I want you to be sitting. That was my idea. And would that tie you directly to that, or you just didn't care at that point? Think about this, how many birds we've been tied to it? We got away with it. Oh, yeah. Okay, then so now, all the high balls, we all agree, like, okay, never complain. But Slim said, man, listen, all this. But Slim said, man, listen, all this, we hype, but like, no, we're not doing that.
Yo, what is going on, guys?
All registered threat levels are currently at Gamma 7. Remain calm.
We'll be releasing a brand new Money Trucks DLC, and in yesterday's video, we took a closer look at two of the brand new businesses being a free inspection crew known as Smokers Wall, as well as a heading towards business, which will be known as King's Heading Towards, which took a closer look at the locations of these businesses, as well as the potential missions involved with running these businesses. So if you do want more information on that, I'll leave a link to those videos down below in the comment section.
Report any suspicious behavior to your department head. The honest have nothing to fear.
We'll also be able to purchase a brand new commodity business. So in today's video, we are going to be taking a closer look at this brand new.
Day 23, U.S. versus Sean Combs, and Kanye West was in the building. However, he was not in the courtroom. He shows up, he gets out of the car, it's like a whole big
Emergency testing complete. Return to position.
Strict process to get into the courtroom, and you have to be on a list ahead of time. And we were told that he was going to go into the overflow room. Now, I know that didn't happen. I know that he left for lunch with, I believe, Christian Combs and some of Diddy's crew.
Reminder,
so, I don't know
plausible
if you can make that
deniability is paramount.
but I was like, yeah, there's no way he's going to go into overflow. And I think that my assumptions were correct as to who Jane went to Vegas with on his private jet as iconic rapper, because it would have been intimidation, I guess, if he came yesterday and sat in the courtroom during Jane's testimony. That's what I think. But anyway, let's get to juror number 6. This issue was not as salacious as we all originally thought it was. Juror number 6.
Sean has tiny calves. Yeah, they're tiny. They're like almost non-existent. It's the craziest thing. And he works out. The homeowner just power lifts in his head.
IAA Renditioner of the Year will be announced next week.
He's got like literally the perfect frame for fighting because he only has muscle where it needs it. It's like he's designed in a lab. Like if you wanted to put it to someone, John's fight IQ is insane. Insane. The guy developed a spinning back kick at 36. Did you have a spinning back kick his whole career? Then all of a sudden knocks out Stipe with a spinning back kick for the
Reminder, food and drink are prohibited in the server room.
which is even crazier. One of the things he said to Daniel Cormier, which is one of the coldest things anybody's ever said, he said, I beat you when I was on coke.
I beat you after a weekend of back-to-back weekends
transformation after his return from Thailand has blown even Joe Rogan away.
Hospital, I think they're trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and the UFC's going to pay him.
The UFC commentator poured out words in abundance after seeing how much preparation the heavyweight champion is putting into his fight against Tom Aspinall. Jones, known for his incredible skills and physical prowess, has been working tirelessly to fine-tune his physique for the big bout. Rogan praised Jones's dedication.
Just a few words delivered off camera, without even naming him, were all it took to set Trump off. And what followed wasn't just a reaction. It was a full-blown meltdown on live television.
Michelle Obama's speech last night when she said that you were in your head and the wrong person.
She was over her head, and frankly, she should have made the speech live, which she didn't do. She taped it, and it was not only taped, it was taped a long time ago because she had the wrong deaths. And frankly, I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for Barack Obama. See, we're standing in the White House. I wouldn't be in the White House except for Barack Obama because they did a bad job, Biden and Obama. And if they did a good job, I wouldn't be here. She didn't even mention the vice presidential candidate in the speech. You know, she gets these fawning reviews. If you gave a real review, it wouldn't be so fawning. I thought it was a very divisive speech, extremely divisive.
Donald Trump couldn't stop talking, not about Biden, not about the economy, but about Michelle Obama. Her speech didn't even mention
So,
her by name.
let me get this straight. A Democrat senator gets arrested, Jasmine Crockett cries white supremacy, and then Trump starts backing off deportations. What's really going on here, y'all? Let's break it down.
If you're paying more than $42 a month for home insurance, you're getting ripped off. Here's how to fix it. I didn't know I was overpaying on my home insurance until my friend sent me this site that compares rates and discounts available to me. With just a few clicks, I
don't know what's in the water down in Florida, but these leaders are done playing. We got sheriffs threatening graveyard service for rioters. DeSantis lighting up the entire Democrat playbook on protest tactics, and protesters literally scattering like roaches at a green light. Watch this through the end because Florida just sent the rest of the country a message loud and clear.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tight because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely.
Because if you from America, you shouldn't be out there protesting for the migrants to stay here, taking your shit on a free fucking ride on the back of you. The taxpayer. You would have to be an asshole to be out there protesting with the fucking migrants. So to me, if you out there protesting with the migrants, you need to be deported with the fucking migrants. Go stay with them bitches in another country.
Are headed again toward central Israel. They are telling people to remain inside
Gonna
shelters.
get run over
We have very
and dragged
limited
across the street.
about the impacts.
If you spit on us,
Confirmed from that video that we saw.
I always say, fuck the police, but the truth is the truth. We need the fucking police. We need good policemen like him. Because we don't have that many good policemen that's going to do the job the right way of doing the job. I don't trust all these liars.
And so again, John, this is going to move very quickly, but people in central
You're
Israel remain in shelters, preparing
hospital
for the
and
incoming
in jail.
fire from Iran.
If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs. You have to. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at. Because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play.
100%. You throw a cocktail of fire towards my ass and miss, that's your ass.
Footage of the hits. The aerial defense is currently identifying and
That's your ass.
Yep, we've got some interceptor rounds coming
Just stop. You're
off of the skyline of Tel Aviv.
That's your ass.
Explosions here. Again, just stay with me because
Don't throw shit at none of the police.
my cameraman Yaniv is going to follow these interceptor rounds.
Watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their job.
So we're good to go.
You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted.
And this won't be a problem.
doing their
No
job.
one is going to want to
And you're
admit that
seeing
anything
obstructions.
happened here. According to my sources, well, Mr. Percival won't be successful in bidding on any government contracts and can't stop himself from being
Or
robbed.
basically just literally said
Just going to
F
require
A F O. You're gonna F around and find
two
out.
teams.
And it's
Chopper
also
crew,
putting
ground crew, all of
the
you will
power
be
back
flying in
into
together.
the citizens. I'll
Ground
explain
crew
that in a minute.
is going to jump
But
into
he
the
said
labs,
graveyard
set off the
dead.
EMP,
I don't
make
care
their
what
way
side
toward
of
the
the aisle
information
you're on.
we're after while the power is
They
down.
don't make you
Chopper
think twice,
crew
nothing
hold
will.
position in the air.
But this
deals with
next clip
incoming
is where
security teams. Once the ground
law
crew has what we're after, you coordinate
backs
an
the
evac
talk.
and meet
And
in
we also
contact
have a
with the
policy
file.
that if you're driving on one of those
So
streets
remember,
and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting.
And that's how
Play stupid fucking games, win stupid fucking prizes. Try to stop a fucking car, you need to get your ass ran over. Period. Because you shouldn't be in the fucking streets trying to stop the fucking car any fucking way.
Stop and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida. And we also have a policy.
You hear that? He says Florida law says you don't have to wait to become a victim. You have the right to escape. And if someone jumps in front of your car, that's basically.
My bad,
It is of public importance to figure
My
out,
bad.
did that guy
My
lie?
bad.
Australia has
My bad.
admitted that when
My
it
bad.
comes to COVID vaccines, the harms outweigh the good for young people.
I'll be damned.
Took your time, didn't you? Hello there, you awakened wonders. Remember, we stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we make this additional content
I don't need no money.
where we
Y'all
have
take
a
all the money
look
from me.
at a
I
particular
don't need
news
none.
story
I don't
in
need no
new
money.
depth in
I don't
order
need
to
none.
bring it to new light. If you've been watching Rumble in the pandemic period, you would have been well aware that even at the time when it would have been relevant. Nevertheless, it's worth looking at these stories now because we can use it as a kind of litmus test when it comes to information we're currently receiving and the likelihood that it can't be relied on. Certainly, you can't rely on the sources that they use, which include Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, nearly every single living president of the United States lined up behind a syringe in order to tell you what to do. Let's remind ourselves of that before looking at where we stand on these issues now and why we cannot trust them probably ever again.
Our fellow Americans. Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available, and soon they will be available to everyone. The science is clear. These vaccines will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
Anytime there is a
No,
crossfire
no, hold on. Wait a minute. We just had 3 ex-presidents come on here and say that these vaccines was okay, but they aren't. Now what? What do we do from here? Because this does not make no fucking sense what we going through. I'm just saying.
For generalised unity, but in all likelihood, what you've got is the full force of the establishment coming together to ensure maximum efficiency.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you. That's the first step.
They should be held accountable for people getting fucking sick. Because if the fucking vaccine companies is not being held accountable, who's gonna be held accountable? We the taxpayers shouldn't be
night vision goggles. When we trigger the EMP, the lights go out. So there you go. That was consensus. A consensus across
The ones hold accountable for a vaccine that did not fucking work. Why were the fucking vaccine companies exempt from being fucking sued by the government or by someone who gets sick or get hurt or get killed from their fucking vaccine? I want to know the reason why were they exempt from being sued by our government. And these presidents should be put in prison because of that fucking vaccine and what it done did to people.
and sticky bombs just in case. And looking at the spectrum and across the world, the vaccines were safe and effective, and if you did take them, you should be publicly ashamed. There may be a tremendous effort to get you to forget that. But remember, there's video evidence. This historian is from John Fleetwood in Substack about Australia's reversal of its recommendations that young people should continue to take the jab. In a quietly historic reversal, the Australian government has officially updated its national immunisation guidance to state that healthy individuals under 18 years old should not receive COVID-19 injections, citing potential harms. According to the government's own website, the COVID-19 vaccine is not recommended for healthy infants, children or adolescents who do not have medical conditions that increase their risk of severe illness. The update cites the extremely low risk of severe illness in this age group and explicitly acknowledged that the benefits of vaccination are not considered to outweigh the potential harms. 3, 4, 5 years later, they've reached the rational disposition that they could have been at on day one. Here is a medicine. It may be advantageous if you have particular respiratory or cardiological conditions. If you are young and generally healthy, you don't need the vaccine. Now, saying that a few years ago would have been tantamount to these days saying, I don't know, men shouldn't participate in women's sports, or you can't have a moral and ethical system of government if you don't believe in God, because there are no absolute verifiable principles, just conjecture and consensus derived either from masses or an intellectual elite, neither of which you can trust. So what I want you to focus on during this video is not just what we know now, but what we don't know now, but might yet assume on the basis of what we're learning as the truth is slowly revealed regarding the pandemic. An extraordinary yet recent period of massive radical change, authoritarianism, media deception and wealth transfer. The recommendation published on 3rd of June 2025 marks a stunning shift from earlier public health campaigns that heavily promoted COVID jabs for nearly all Australians, including children. The admission follows mounting international concern over adverse events tied to COVID shots, including myocarditis, pericarditis and other complications observed in younger recipients. Now, another significant establishment voice was, of course, Anthony Fauci, and whilst he might be currently vilified and under investigation, whether that's a sort of media investigation or an official governmental one, here he is in his pomp, in his prime, with Barack Obama telling you what to do for your safety, for your health.
That's why they ought to be put in jail. That's why they ought to be in prison. Them funky fuckers. Them funky fuckers should be in prison.
Which means that if you're still thinking about it, you know, get informed, talk to somebody you trust, your family doctor, your pediatrician, school nurse.
I don't trust no fucking body no more.
Relatively, it's safe, it's effective.
I know what's in y'all, and still don't fucking trust y'all, cause y'all don't fucking know.
How they possibly have known something that's demonstrably now untrue? So what was their motivation in telling you that at the time?
This vaccine is tailored for kids, and
but now we know the harms outweigh the benefits. So what personal responsibility?
When are we gonna hold these assholes accountable for all the fucking lies?
She's all yours. Does Barack Obama and Anthony Fauci bear? Certainly they'd have been happy to take the credit when it was record numbers of people getting vaccinations and we're returning to schools. Think about all the celebrities that lined up. Remember them. Of course, if your theological purview includes forgiveness, then grant them forgiveness. But forgiveness on the basis of repentance. That forgiveness.
Wow, they twisted my words off.
Based on turning up.
I say, when are we gonna hold the elite assholes accountable for all the fucking lies? That's what the fuck I said.
away from the old life. Do you think that Barack Obama and Anthony Fauci have turned away from the ideology that brought you COVID and the solution of COVID and the numerous benefits of COVID when it comes to the authority of globalist imperialists and the profits of commercial corporatists?
Then come on down and find a spot to get vaccinated. You can get it for free just by going to vaccine.gov. It'll tell you exactly where you can go to get vaccinated.
There's only one thing that's fucking free. Anything else is gonna fucking cost you. Pay a fucking attention. It's free.
And make sure to do it, as you said, for your kids, your entire family, as well as for the community at large.
And I think we should probably tell Barack Obama and Anthony Fauci.
All of these assholes should be in fucking prison for these lies that they perpetrated on the guinea pigs.
Exactly where to go. Let me know in the comments and chat exactly where that might be. Now, the FDA have updated their guidance when it comes to Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Have a look at this.
In Fox 5 Health News, the FDA now requires COVID vaccine makers to expand the warning about rare heart diseases and risks linked to the shots.
All right, joining us now, Dr. Flavia Free, Clinical Assistant Professor of Infectious Diseases and Immunology at NYU Langone. She has done research with the Pfizer vaccine, by the way, worth noting. All right, walk us through what these warning labels now say and the update that the FDA is requiring.
Right, so, this is a rare side effect of both the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines.
One limo coming up.
Myocarditis, which is inflammation in your heart, and currently that label is already there. So Pfizer's vaccine says that the risk is highest in males aged 12 to 17, and Moderna says that the risk is highest in males 18 to 24. So essentially what the FDA wants is kind of to combine the two and then, label it for that risk to be from, age 12 all the way through 24, so it kind of encompasses both of their warning labels, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think give us some context in terms of how rare this might be. What kind of risk are we talking about?
Right, so in the grand scheme of things, if you were to get infected with the actual COVID virus, your risk for myocarditis or pericarditis would be significantly more. And twice as likely, some studies even
give it to him.
5 times as likely. So again, this is extremely rare in a very specific age group, and there's also ways to mitigate that risk. For example, by spacing out vaccine doses, sometimes they're less likely to get that inflammation, but still for the general public, the risk is extremely low, and the benefits of the vaccine outweigh the risk.
Excellent framing of the information. Remember, the function of the media is to frame information in a manner that is convenient to the agenda of the powerful. Let's continue with the article. US CDC data shows that 38,600 deaths have been linked to the COVID jab since 2020, but fewer than 1% of adverse events are even reported. As a 2010 HHS-funded Harvard analysis suggests, the real number could exceed 3.8 million. Do you remember some of the hysterical and marginal prognoses that emerged during that period? Unusual men like Steve Kirsch coming forth to tell you that there could be millions of people worldwide affected by this. And to remember thinking, this can't be true, this can't be right, but have a look at these numbers, do a little bit of maths, and it seems likely, given the way that information is currently being released, that they were right. Pfizer's own data showed over 1,200 negative health outcomes associated with their mRNA COVID shot. Australia's updated guidance comes just days after US Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy announced that the COVID shot would also be removed from the CDC's recommended schedule for healthy children and pregnant women, citing a lack of clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children. What the COVID period revealed is that elites regard humanity as a kind of homogenous blob, that there isn't time to be discerning about whether pregnant women or young children should take the vaccine and how that research could ever have been undertaken. Pregnant women don't generally present themselves for clinical trials. We can't make an assessment of the impact over 5 to 10 years of a vaccine that's only recently been developed. It's just common sense.
Man, how could you ever trust the CDC? How could you ever trust your fucking doctor?
matter of fact. But beyond the common sense are deeper diagnosis of the relationship between the governed and the governing. And what's revealed is they will tell you whatever they need to tell you in order to get you to
Make
behave how
money.
they want you to behave. They will always tend towards maximize that.
And it's gonna always be about the money over the people. And it shouldn't be that way.
Of state authority.
And it shouldn't be that way. We the people should be standing up to this shit.
And profitability for corporate and commercial interests. That's without getting into any possible occultist directive when it comes to the real agenda of the powerful. That stuff is difficult to corroborate. What's not difficult to corroborate is they lied at scale. They are even now trying to roll back the deception and lies that covered the earth during that period of time, sending out a variety of people to create a sort of a state of bewilderment. Oh, we didn't know this, we could have known that. Or is Joe Biden really senile? Will we ever know? In order to create really just a climate of generalized confusion in which it's difficult to make the sort of diagnosis that were bleeding obvious to anyone switched on pretty near the beginning of this process. You know, when you first heard of Rumble, you thought, "Ooh, what is this little organisation?" You thought about Royal Rumble, didn't you? You thought about...
It's fucked up with capital boy. Thought to be so fucking fucked and stupid to the point where he couldn't see straight. His straight would just slap us in the fucking face. I got guilty by association. All because y'all stupid. I'm guilty by association because y'all stupid. Y'all allow someone to teach you to be fucking stupid. And I can't make you get off of being stuck on stupid. Even if I show you what straight is, do not be stupid. It's like pulling teeth. Just trying to get you to realize what the truth is in you already. It's waiting for you to tap back in. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. But that's when you realize who's lying. Man. Like, what the fuck happened to your common sense? How did you allow someone to take away that you born with? Come on. We're nowhere near this fucking stupid. Nowhere. It hurts me to know the truth that's in me is in you too. But you don't know that. Born to win. 100%. To know better. To know better is what it is. Being your natural order. How? Why? Did you allow someone to take your thoughts away from you? All that matters, your mind, the truth, that thinks with and for you. It's just that you need to know what it is me and you do, why you doing it, why you thinking about what you doing, why being responsible to what you doing. Raw creativity is just you creating this reality, and a whole bunch of other people creating this reality too. We all do shit together. It's just that some assholes can live there and fool you. They fooled me too, but I ain't fooled no more. I just said I'm guilty by association because you still stuck on fucking stupid fool. Like some stupid goddamn fool. You got to realize the reason why you lie. Because you're not a fucking liar. But I'm sorry to inform you, to telling you the truth that's in you, that you should know already. Informs you to know. Just as I'm telling you for you to know, that you should know already. All believers are liars. Children are liars by default. Children are liars by their parents' fucking fault for teaching them to be liars as children, never to grow up to be responsible adult men, to be responsible as adult women, to be responsible as that woman and that man being responsible for what they're thinking about doing before they put it into reality. That's it, that's all. Because that's what we all doing, all together. Because all that matters is what's already in you to matter. Literally, raw creativity. Atoms, matter, motion, the mind. We all a part of. Being. The air, the wind. That's what you in. You just informed now. Literally. Informed means that you need to be informed about the truth that's already in you to know that you ain't gonna know everything. But you should be thinking about everything 24/7. To the point where you know that you thanking the creator for being able to think at all. Because that's all it is to be. It's within your mind and within that heartbeat. Because that's the only thing that holds you in the body. Light, vibration, motion, magnetism. The creator within the creation. You're never alone. The truth to the creator within the creation is the love is in you already for you to love. Because you can't truly love unless you know where the love is coming from to love with for free. With no material motive, with no ulterior motive. That lets you know the truth that's already in you, that's loving you from the inside out, to knowing that you'll never be alone. Because you're a part of the all being within the all. Everything needs air, baby. Everything needs sun, baby. Everything needs light, baby. You gotta stop being lazy. You gotta go into the natural. I'm thinking naturally from the truth to the creator of me being. Because I know for facts there's no such thing as here today, gone tomorrow. Here today, gone today. Because nobody's promised tomorrow. The truth to the matter that matters within you right now is the truth to all living life right now. It being it all being in it all. If it was to give upon me or you, that's it, that's all. You just transfer out of the rental suit. I'm just saying. I can't make you realize the truth. You have to realize it for yourself. To know that it is what it is. The creator within the creation. Loving you from the inside out. It's a self-explanatory. Itself is self-explanatory because it's in you. Already, just waiting on you. Born that way. Born with the winner within you already. Just waiting on you to win. To know you can never lose. 100%. Facts. Love you. Because I love the truth that's in you. What you do is on you. But I love you because of what's in you. But I can't make you know. You need to know for yourself. To realize for yourself how much you've been lied to. Love the light that is as light as it's better to be judged to know the love. You're being judged right now with the light in you right now. To feel the love, to know the love, to be the love. Shit. Y'all hurt. Y'all hurt me. Y'all don't know the love that's in your heart.